it's not again advised to use the wastewater in the sprinkler systems, જે લોન માટે જે જરૂર છે, because એના માટે પણ એના માટે પણ આ થોડો પ્રોબ્લેમ થતો હોય છે, કારણ કે એ જેમ થવાના
norms don't value.
Okay.
Norms do not value. Sprinkler.
Okay. Pump is again the vital organs, કારણ કે 24 કલાક તમે ગ્રે વોટર્સથી વધારે ના રાખી શકો, because it start decomposing, એની અંદરથી ઓક્સિજન, it takes the oxygens, so it starts shrinking. So you have to be continuously rotations. તો તમે ત્યાં જે પંપ કરો, it's very standard બ્રાન્ડનું જોઈએ અને મેન્ટેનન્સ ફ્રી જોઈએ અને એફ્લુઅન્ટ ટાઈપનું જોઈએ, કે જે નાની મોટી વસ્તુને પણ નો ઇટ વિલ એ ચોકઅપ ના થઈ જાય વસ્તુ. ડ્રીપ ઇરિગેશન માટે વાત કરી, સ્ટોર માટે વાત કરી કે યુ કેન નોટ સ્ટોર મોર દેન 24 hours ગ્રે વોટર્સ. નોર્મલી ટ્રીઝની રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ છે, લોનની રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ છે એવરેજ 2 થી 3 લીટર્સ, ડિપેન્ડ્સ ઓન ધ સિઝન્સ, પર સ્ક્વેર ફીટ પર ડે. એટલે ઉનાળામાં થોડી વધી જાય છે. ડ્રીપ ઇરિગેશનની રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ છે ઓલમોસ્ટ 0.5 to 1 liters per square feet per day. Depends on the, because some plants is water loving, some plants is જે રણમાં થતા હોય એને પાણી ઓછું જોઈએ. So there is no the fixed data, but generally assume that. And for trees also અમે 4000 રૂપિયાની ટેન્કરમાં 40 લીમડા 20 દિવસ સુધી પીવડાવીએ છીએ. 4000 રૂપિયાની ટેન્કમાં 40, so you can calculation like this. So it works.
At what intervals?
Sorry?
At what intervals?
In 20 days. 20 days 4000 રૂપિયાની એક ટેન્ક, એટલે એટલી ટોટલ કન્ઝ્યુમ થાય.
20 દિવસમાં એટલું કન્ઝ્યુમ થાય.
હા.
But watering is done every 4th day, 10th day or every interval.
No, every 20 days. પછી ખામણું કરવું પડે.
watering.
And water application every day. એ રોજ કરો છો 3 દિવસે 4 દિવસે weekly? What is your
Every day.
every day? For all 20 days.
Yeah. This is the Rajasthan data. Rajasthan road side na je plantation છે. Traps and vents is always required because of to control the gases from the sewer. Dishwasher water is not recommended because it contains high salt and which is not good for the plants. આરોમાંથી જે વેસ્ટ વોટર નીકળે છે, it's again high on the TDS and some metals, so it's again not useful. It's harmful to the plants. So just you have to forget it, because it doesn't use anywhere. So do not allow the grey water to the pools, ponds or creeks. You just recycle in your premises. Doesn't harm to any neighboring properties. Grey water is again not safe to drink even after the full, because the process treatment is too high. So rainwater is a better option. So if it's a new house constructed, then it's very easy to plan and incorporate everything. If it's retrofit, then you have to make some alterations and you can fit it, no problem. This is interesting footprints. Sugarcane consumes the highest water. If you see the crops. પછી આવે છે મકાઈ અને ઘઉં, જે મોટા જે સાઇન છે તો 4. So this is the situations. It's a pani or jung. It's war or it's water. Water is the DNA of our life. આ ત્યારે ખુશી થશે જ્યારે ડેવલપર્સ કે બિલ્ડર્સ આવું બોર્ડ મારશે બહાર કે ગ્રે વોટર ઇઝ યુઝ ઇન ધીસ અવર પ્રોપર્ટી, દેન એ દિવસની હું રાહ જોઈ રહ્યો છું કે જ્યારે આવું બોર્ડ લાગશે ડેવલપરના બહાર. This is the situations. We are making the leakage is more high. કાલે ધૂળેટી છે, સો હેપી હોલી એન્ડ હેપી ધૂળેટી. થેન્ક યુ.
Do's and don'ts. Very good. There is an interesting fact, I don't know how many have attended the seminar at Santivan. Oh, wonderful. Did you enjoy the environment? That the same is the case here. The committee member always takes care that they do it in the best environment atmosphere. And that's what they believe. And they are going to do the same thing next time also. Right, Shashi bhai? So you have a presentation. Now may I invite Shri Shishir Rawal and Dhava Patel. Shishir Rawal is an architect, he is an HOD of Architecture Department. He is going to talk on VOHO, Vision Viswamitri, and Dhava Patel, she is going to talk on a vision for Bukhi Nala. Dr. Shishir Rawal has been associated with this cause from 1998. Please, sir.
માનનીય વિદ્યાર્થીઓ, એમના શિક્ષકો અને મારા સહકાર્યકરો જે આ પ્રયાસમાં આપણે બધા જુદી જુદી રીતે પણ સાથે સંકળાયેલા છે, એ બધાનો ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર. એન્જિનિયરિંગ સેવા ટ્રસ્ટ GSFC વગેરેનો બી ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર જે અમને અહીંયા આમંત્રણ આપ્યું અને છેલ્લી ઘડી અમને અહીંયા એકોમોડેટ કર્યા. માય નેમ ઇઝ શિશિર રાવલ. And even though I'm heading the Department of Architecture currently, by profession and by heart, I'm an student of ecology. I'm an ecological planner and a landscape architect. And what we are going to show you today is an ongoing effort. That's why the top title is A Continuing Quest for a Better Future for All Species. And wherever we find ourselves is our karma bhumi. So Vadodara and its environment is our karma bhumi. All these presentations were talking about specific intervention at a much smaller scale that were important. They are very important. What we are going to talk about is a much larger system level intervention or system level thinking that requires us to think at a very different scale and in a very different manner. I have with me a student who was in our department, Ms. Dhara Patel, and she had done a detailed case study of Bukhi Nala. So I'm going to go through this very quickly. We need to have a sense of childlike curiosity and childlike innocence to develop the ideas and to kind of see the world with a new eye. We have been looking at the world with the same old eye and we are repeating the problems, and then once in a while this kind of seminars happen and we are all educated and then we go back into our air-conditioned cars and we live our own lives the way we have been leading. So I'm not downplaying the importance of having this kind of gathering. What I'm really concerned about is whether we have the courage to look out of the window and to act upon the misery and the stupidness that we are observing on a day-to-day basis. And though I was going to tell this at the end of the presentation, I'm going to say this right now to all the participants, but especially the younger participants. Decide today only, that is what is one thing that I'll continue to do every day in my life so that I can personally make a difference. You decide that. We are all students, we are all engineers, we are all architects, we are all learned people, but we need to decide what is that I will do today, that I'll continue to do so that I can make a little bit of difference in the misery and the problems that we are facing in the world. Glorious past, critical present, vibrant future, next steps, and hopefully later on, if we have time, we can have questions and discussions. we are talking about Vishwamitri River. Vishwamitri River is actually a very historical river as well as has a lot of mythological connotations to it. We are blessed with rivers. Gujarat state is blessed with rivers. We have climatic regions, that is why some areas are drier. We have human societal level stupidity, that is why some rivers are drier. But we are blessed with hills which generate rivers for us. And one of those small rivers starts from Panchakavya mountain, which is Pavagadh hill, which is on your right hand side lower, which is on your left hand side lower corner. This is how it used to look. I had a person, an elderly person, who said that in our childhood, when we used to go to the bridge near Kalagoda, and if we throw a coin, we'll see the coin clearly at the bottom of the river. There are people still living in our city who can tell glorious stories about how the river was, how the Vadodara city was. There is a small little book called Vishwamitri Mahatmaya. It is published by Oriental Institute, which, by the way, is a little hidden gem of Vadodara city. Much wisdom is stored in Oriental Institute. We just have to dig out that. We have to just go there and ask for the kind of information we seek. And in that book, they have given this map of showing all the different tirths along Vishwamitri River. The most upper branch is definitely the this is the beginning of this is where the Pavagadh hill is. Many small streams, rivulets come out, and then they form this river. This is where the Surya River is. Currently, there is somewhere here on Surya River we have Ajwa Dam. Then we further go down, and this is the Jambua River, and this was named as Viranchi River or Brahmaputra River, which now we call Dhadar River. So then the Sangam happens, and then they go to the Gulf of Cambay. So this is the historical perspective, and you can imagine how many temples and how many cultural activities were going on in this particular region, and we have almost forgotten all these things. And these are the tirths on the hilltop, Panchavaktra mountain, Pavagadh hill, and you can see how the hill generates all these initial flows of rivulets which become Vishwamitri River. Critical present, I'm sorry, this slide, the bottom part has shifted, but these are the different watersheds. I can show you in the next slide also. Jambua, Surya River and Vishwamitri River watershed, Jambua River watershed, and Devdhata River watershed. From the bottom of the hill, about 390 meters from mean sea level, to when it comes out near Devdhata junction, it is about 70 meter elevation. And if we look at this entire system with the contours, it is really nice to see that we can now see the picture where how the nature has done its land use plan. We are doing our own land use plan, but nature has done its own land use plan, and if we work with it, we can do wonders. Similarly, as somebody else earlier said that Gopal Bhai, I think, mentioned that we have all this Kans or Nala system joining all the different lakes of ponds, of human-made ponds of Vadodara city. And these are also all choked up, and town planning schemes do not recognize this quite well. 100 years ago, we think that rivers are stable, but rivers are very dynamic, and we should not play with them. We should be very serious. We should accommodate them. We should work with them. And this particular part, this is this on your right hand side is the Bauchraji Nala, and on your left hand side is the Bhuki Nala stream, starting with Chani Lake, which is what Dhara will talk about. And this is, I'll just quickly go through this, I don't have to speak about this. This is now, and that was then. Where have we lost our glory? So now, given this particular scenario, we have to ask ourselves these questions. So we have the idea. Since 1998, we have been working on this with various groups. Whoever was interested have contacted us, and we have freely distributed our information with them. And there are many practical solutions. We can talk about that in more detailed presentation. And but very quickly, there are hundreds of solutions, but I'm just showing you about 5 in little bit of this presentation. So they yield all these kind of benefits. And we are not alone in this crusade, this endeavor. South Korea's Seoul River in its capital has been revived back from its bad condition. Actually, it was hidden, and now today it is a festive place. There are other examples from other countries that have revived their rivers and have made an urban environment which is full of biodiversity as well as for richness in cultural life. Will not get into this. This is the larger picture. This is about 450 slideshow. I'm converting into 55 slideshow, so I'm just going to go through this in a big hurry. So conceptually speaking, this is the picture that we can generate. This is the existing, and then we add the greens and the cultural dots and connect all of this, and this can become such a nice picture. At the Vadodara city level also, if we can do, we can describe. This is the big picture that we can generate. Students have volunteered their times. We have worked on this since '98, as I said, and then again on 2006 and 2009 and 11. And there are some vision ideas that we are just presenting. So there is a lot to do for us as citizens. Detailed project report establishing citizen group to ensure proper design, and a good design vision example is the work done by Bukinala that I invite my colleague and student Dhara Patel to talk about.
So a very good afternoon to everybody who's here. And I'd like to start by saying that earlier natural resources were a community to which we belong. I mean, we were of little or no significance. But now they've become a commodity that we use. So what has gone wrong? And why do we think in this manner? And which is why I'd like to bring to notice this nala that is there, and make people understand how systems are interconnected and how they cannot be seen in isolation. So the Bukinala is a significant tributary of the Vishwamitri River, and I'll be going through it in the following steps: the premise, the concept, and what could be a vision and what could be the details of a segment. So if you see, then of the whole watershed region, that is where the Bukinala is in context with the Vishwamitri. And these are the water resources that we've had in this city over the years, and what we are doing with them. And again, the terrain map, and I mean the interconnectedness, that the whole water network system is a very large picture and not an isolated picture that we keep on looking at. So if we see this, then the Bukinala starts right at Chani Lake, and then it traverses the entire city, going through different land uses, and finally passing through all the areas. It comes down near the planetarium at Kamati Bagh and ends in the Vishwamitri River there. And this is how its state is. So what could be done? I mean, we always look at what we can do. I mean, have we ever studied what nature was? So if you look at the natural systems, it's very important to understand land. People treat land as a commodity these days. But like Sir said, that nature had already made its land use. So why don't we study it? So these are the various natural systems that we can study to get a better way in which we interact with our systems. So instead of looking at the natural system and developing a land use, this is what we've come up with. Where the meandering river is lost, the creek has become linear in nature, and we're just destroying it completely. And interrelations, there are hardly any interrelations. There's in fact neglect. If you see, these are cultural cross-sectional studies of how the cultural system and natural system interacts. And sadly, it does not interact at all. It's just neglected, shunned away. You're forbidden to go there. All the back of the houses face the channel. And you basically use it as a dump yard. And when you see the problem, you channelize it, cover it up. And that's about it. But still, the systems together create a sensory experience which is beautiful. So these are some regions that I'm pointing out and showing what it could be and what has been done. So what are the inferences that we can draw from this? And is there a way that we could do something? Like, there could be ecological renewal. Could there be social equity around the river where people have this sense of belongingness towards the river? And could it generate in some sort an economy? And could it bring about the authentic cultural identity that we lack? So the basic concept was to identify different strategies for the Nala. And first was to bring an ecological infrastructure restoration of the whole thing. Then reorient urbanism to the river. And then curate the vision through time. So I'll just quickly go through the entire conceptualization because I think we're getting late. And how different corridors could relate to the river. There could be a recreation corridor, horticulture corridor, and how we could celebrate the natural systems as they are without intervening much and restoring them to what they are meant to be. So, these are details of how the ecological infrastructure could be done better and what would be the different proposals that could guide it, and then how could you bring everybody and establish this interrelationship between cultural and natural systems, and look at new land uses, and then all of these combined, what could the vision be? How could you treat different segments and have different land uses? Like you could celebrate agriculture, you could celebrate it being a wetland, you could celebrate the nature of what it is instead of just using it according to your needs. And what could be the different amenities that could come about and how it could also promote everything. Yeah. Okay. I'll just quickly conclude now.